What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Dickie Does Audio here. Hey, I wanted to talk to you guys today about these Miller and Kreisel s5000thx series speakers. I just did a video last week on the M&K S100s that were sitting right over here, and I failed to mention that Miller and Kreisel was the company and the brand that Lucasfilms used whenever they did their master remixing for the audio for Star Wars. And so if that gives you kind of any insight or expectations of what these speakers can do, think about that. We're talking Star Wars. The Star Wars is just it's in a class of its own when you want to talk about movies and the whole sequels and the collection of Star Wars movies. And I personally believe that Miller and Kreisel is in a category of their own when it comes to home theater sound and being able to blend that home theater sound into a two-channel music sound too, just a music listening experience coming from a speaker that's meant to be for home theater, and these do that very well. And so basically these right here, that they have the S5000thx series has two 6.5-inch drivers. They have two 1-inch soft dome tweeters, and they have this foam here that's meant for the directivity of the sound. To get the THX certification on your speakers, your sound has to be directed in a certain manner to get that certification. Everything has to hit with these speakers right here. If you remember in the video that I did with the S100Bs, the M&K S100B, they have on the back of them, they have this treble and mid-range contour that allows you to adjust the sound to how you prefer it. Well, on the back of the S5000s, they have something similar. This is just a normal and a special switch. And what this does is, in the normal position, is if these speakers are set up the way that they're supposed to be, which is, if they're going to be away from the wall, 2 feet away from the wall, the side walls, and a couple feet away from the back wall too, then you would set this to normal. But if you're going to have these sitting close to the wall, then that's when you would flip this switch to special, and it does something to the crossover on the inside, and the sound changes just ever so slightly. And I would imagine that it might take away a little bit of the bass, so it's not boomy from being close to a wall if you have it sitting in a corner. And that's just my guess. About a year or two ago, I messaged Ken Kreisel about these speakers because back then I wasn't sure about them, because every time that I would turn them up, it seemed like they were getting a little sloppy, whenever I'm talking at really high volumes. And so he messaged me back about that, and he was telling me, hey, when basically, if you're not running a good 200 watts of good clean power through these, then what's happening is I was clipping the speaker, and I ended up finding that out the hard way. And that's exactly what I was doing, because I was running them off of my AVR downstairs. And at the time, it was the Denon 6400. I think it was right whenever I got it, is whenever I actually really started pushing these, and I ended up blowing a tweeter. And so that's whenever I thought, okay, what's going on with these? And that's exactly what it was that, I was just underpowering them severely. And so I had to buy a separate amp to push them. And whenever I did that, then you could turn these things up as loud as your heart desires, and they sound just as good at 15 dB as good as they do at 115. It's just a very clear, clean, crisp sound that comes out of these. But I don't think that there's really any other opinions or videos on these speakers. So what I thought I would do with this one is, first of all, if you're into something like this, hit the subscribe button and like the video. I always do that towards the end of my videos. And hey, if you like this, or if you're interested in some speakers like this and some older speakers, hit the subscribe button. How about that? Let me get that out of the way. All right, so anyway, like I said, I don't think that there's really any other videos on these. I'm not sure. I didn't look, but I know that these are a pretty rare speaker. So I thought that I would go ahead and do something a little different. I normally don't write down songs and things like that and share that with you guys, and I think that's something that I'm going to start doing. And for these, there was a couple songs that I was listening to that kind of stuck out, and one of them was by U2. When it's the song "It's All Right," she moves in mysterious ways. The solos, when the guitar would come forward and everything, the solos in that song are just nuts. The singer, I just want to say that, like, the rhythm guitar, when he comes in, and I'm trying to close my eyes and picture this, because when he came in, and you can just, it's nuts, man, just the way that these sound with that song. It's almost holographic, it's just very, very clean, and the depth, I guess you could say, of these speakers with a song like that. Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. At the very beginning of that song, when they first start to play the song, and you just got music coming out of the front left, it's just a guitar solo coming out of the front left speaker, and then all of a sudden, the right speaker pops in, and it's almost like the whole damn band came in at the same, which it did, but but anyway, it's like the whole band and everything just was right in front of you all of a sudden, and it was just like Rush. Damn, I honestly, it sounded like there was speakers behind me. The sound was holographic in a sense, with these, when in that song with the xylophones and things like that, when it comes in, and you can literally hear the sound traveling around the room, and it's not so much just in front of you. I thought that was pretty damn pretty special. Just listening to the radio, and I'm sitting there doing some paperwork and listening to the radio, and there's commercials that come on every now and then, obviously, and it's like you look up and it's almost like eye popping, because this commercial just basically wrapped around your head better than some surround systems that I've heard, and it's all coming from two speakers. That's it. And so I guess basically what I'm getting at is, if you're looking for some speakers and you can find something like these, or even the S100Bs. I'll still talk about these because I love these little bad boys, man. What else I got here? The sound stage on these was very big. The imaging and the detail it's deep, and it's very, very clean, man. If that makes any more sense than what it did probably whenever I was talking about these S100s, it's the detail on these. If, in all honesty, if I was just listening to 2-channel music, I would probably prefer the smaller S100Bs. But now, when you want to talk about home theater and 2-channel, these S5000s are going to win for me every time that you play them, bar none. And it's because of the tone. My brother-in-law came in whenever I first bought the S100s, and we're listening to him, and he's like, "Man, I really liked him. I liked him." And I'm like, "I know, I do too. I really like him." But when you listen to these, the S5000s compared to the S100s for movies, you get a deeper tone. And with a deeper tone, it makes the voices seem more realistic. The male voices, they're just, the tonal quality, I guess, is just better. And it's closer to an actual movie theater sound, I guess you could say, because the deeper voices, and it's just not as high pitch as it might be on with some of the smaller speakers. But that's not to say that these aren't super nice for movies too, but I just preferred these over the smaller ones, and the only reason was because of the lower tone that you get from these. And so, like I said before, if anybody is looking for some speakers that are for your home theater, do not hesitate to look on the used market for something like these. I think when this set first came out back in the 90s, you're talking maybe right around $3,000, I think. And that was for 3 of these and 2 surrounds and a subwoofer. So today's money, you're talking what, $4,000, maybe 4,500. I'm not 100% sure, but somewhere in the ballpark of there. Like I said, check out Miller and Chrysler speakers for your home theater and your 2-channel listening, because I think that's what Ken was going for whenever he built these. It's all right, you know what, we're going to do movies and we're going to do it better than anybody else, and we're going to go ahead and make these sound just as good in 2-channel listening. If you want to just flip them over and listen to some music with them, you're going to get that good 2-channel sound quality out of these. Just like, I don't think that you can find in this price range, for what these are going for used, probably about around $600 for the 3 of them, about $200 a piece. And I don't think that you can find a better speaker for your home theater and 2-channel all wrapped in one. And obviously that's just my opinion, but who knows. If anybody else has any comments or whatever and thinks differently, let me know. And because I would love to know what other people think about these speakers too. But anyway, like I said in the beginning, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and until next time, thanks guys.